You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is February 12th, 2025 meeting of the LaPorte County Sheriff Merit Commission. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Did all members receive a copy of the minutes from last month and have an opportunity to review? Are there any changes that need to be made? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve as presented?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion seconded. Any questions? All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Thank you. Good morning, Sheriff.
Morning.
How are you today?
Good. How is everyone this morning?
Just hanging on for the weather.
The weather, yeah, a couple of inches and everybody wants to panic.
Yeah, oh yeah. Store shelves are probably already vacated
Bare
and just bare.
bread or milk, and yeah, well, it's not like we've never seen snow before.
Right.
I get it. I understand. It's better to be safe than sorry. Ready?
Yes, sir. It's all
Awesome.
yours.
Well, thank you for that moment of silence for former Deputy Mary Ann Middler. Again, she was the first Sheriff's Office first female merit deputy, serving from 1980 to 1991. She had retired or left the department prior to me getting started here, but I'm sure former Sheriff Mike Mollenauer remembers working with her and probably could share some stories as well too. Our calls for service between the month of December and January decreased. It doesn't come to a surprise. January and February are usually our slowest months around at the Sheriff's Office, so this does not come as a surprise. They decreased 10% from 1,904 to 1,882. Our crash reports increased 25% from 93 to 116. Our traffic stops increased 4% from 698 to 724. The odd one here, our car deer crashes increased significantly as well too, 48% from 27 to 40, and it's kind of odd. Year to date, compared to 2024, for the month, we're down about 10% in 2024 year to date, 2,097. So far year to date, 1,882 calls for service. We have finished and completed our 2024 yearly stats report. There's very positive and very good news coming out of there. Our calls for service were down a total of 9%. We answered 25,718 calls in the year of 2024. Our deputies arrested 2,712 individuals. Our deputies made over 7,619 traffic stops, investigated 1,050 crashes, and these next two stats are absolutely amazing, and it just shows you the hard work that the men and women have done for the Sheriff's Department 2024. Our violent crime stats were down 22%, and our major crime was down 27%. Violent crime is considered to be arson, homicide, rape, robbery, batteries, kind of crimes against persons. And major crime is more of our property crimes, burglaries, thefts, such as that. Those are significant numbers. Usually we'll see single-digit decreases or increases, maybe a 10% decrease. But to have a 22 and a 27% decrease for the year is absolutely phenomenal. And we could not be more pleased with these stats. And again, it just shows you the commitment and the dedication that the men and women at the Sheriff's Office have to the citizens of LaPorte County for those numbers. Unfortunately, we did see an increase in our alcohol-related crashes and our fatalities. That's something that we're going to continue to address on. We continue to do the DUI grant, traffic enforcement grants throughout the year. When I first started years ago, we would only do those around certain holidays or certain events, but we pretty much run that program year round now, and we're going to continue to try to bring those numbers down. We had 17 fatality accidents last year, and that was up significantly from 2023 as well too. But for the most part, crime related wise, man, things are great. Again, couldn't be more pleased with the work that the men and women do and have done, and continue to hope for good things for 2025 here. As you see in the next item, we have our top 10 dangerous crash locations or intersection. This has become a popular stat for the news media. They've already been reaching out, and I've had several other individuals reach out to me asking if we've got the top 10 list yet, which we do. I'm going to get that out as well too. The top 10 intersection with the most crashes was US 20 and State Road 39, followed by US 20 and Fail Road, followed by US 20 and US 35, then US 30 and US 421, then US 6 and US 35, US 421 and County Road 300 North, US 30 and State Road 39, US 35 and Johnson Road, US 35 and Hupp Road, and US 20 and Wilhelm Road. This comes no surprise to me because these are high traffic volume intersections. So it comes no surprise with the amount of traffic that goes through these intersections, especially the top three, maybe even the top four. The amount of traffic that goes through, you're just going to have crashes. So it comes no surprise. Again, we've said this in years past. What's not on the list that used to be top on the list was State Road 2 and US 20, which now we consider the dog bone intersection. I mean, that's not even close to being on the list at all. We've seen some significant improvements to US 20 and 400 West and US 20 and 300 West. The state has come in and put turn lanes at those intersections, and again has made vast improvements to the safety of those intersections as well. I know that the state is working on some plans to make improvements along US 20 from 39 east to Fail Road, and then from 300 east to 500 east through the Roland Prairie area, widening and making some turn lanes in there. I think they're going to get started on that project maybe this spring, hopefully. So we'll see some work up there. If that's the case, we'll see some of these other intersections probably come off the list as well, to the safety improvements that the state are going to make. So I do have the annual report and some papers here if you'd like to stop in and see them. That provides us a little more detailed information than what I have shared here today. And that report will be put into a digital form and put on our webpage. So if any individual out in the public wants to visit our webpage in the future and see it, they'll be able to do that as well too. Not quite there yet though, but it will be. Deputy Daniel Diaz continues to do very well in his FTO program. He is expected to finish up first week of March and then become solo. That's real good news. He's doing very well. We've got nothing but positive remarks and compliments on the young man. Deputy Adam Needles continues his training at NYLEA, and he is expected to graduate sometime in April. Well, again, we're looking forward to get him back and get him through FTO and get him solo probably by about summertime. So we've got 2 scholarships that are available. The Indiana Sheriff's Association has announced that they're taking applications for their scholarship. Applications can be available through Captain Allen. The next scholarship that's available is the Neil Thompson Scholarship, and that can be applied through the Unity Foundation's website. As a reminder, with the assistance of board member Miss Frances Coney, we took that scholarship and turned it over to the Unity Foundation to manage. It's doing very well. There should be a link on their website in which you can access the Neil Thompson Scholarship to apply for that. On January 17th, Sergeant Scott Boswell was awarded the Northwestern University Frick Cooper Award for his work and dedication to crash reconstruction. It's a very prestigious award that's awarded through Northwestern University. That's where he had gone to school to get his certifications in crash reconstruction. They recognized his work that he does, and they awarded him this the Frick Cooper Award for his work in crash reconstruction. So congratulations to Sergeant Boswell. On January 29th, the Sheriff's Office received a good donation of Squishmallows. If you've got kids, you know what Squishmallows are. I've got 2 girls, and we've got a house full of them. From 9-year-old Baylor. Baylor, she was quite the individual to talk to and to meet with that morning when she made this donation. But along with these Squishmallows, she typed up or wrote a heartwarming note to the kids that would be in receipt of these animals. If you go to our Facebook page, you can see the post of the donation, but you can also read the note that she wrote for these kids, and it's very heartwarming and touching. We have finished our yearly in-service training. This allowed everyone to get their state-mandated training completed except for firearms, and we'll get that accomplished here in the next month or two. I'd like to thank Captain Heineck and all the instructors for their work on this, as no overtime was incurred for this training. Because there's no vacations and everything, and we can stagger the guys and the gals to attend to this training and get it done when they wouldn't be working. So there was no overtime incurred for this training, which is really good. It allows the men and women to get, like I said, the majority of their required training done for the year, so now we don't have to worry about it for the remainder of the year. We had announced the promotional testing was available to all eligible deputies seeking promotion. They shall submit a letter of intent to seek promotion to the sheriff by February 18th. We do have interview dates of being October 14th, 15th, and the 21st, and the test date being November 18th. Good luck to all the candidates that are going to seek promotion. I think I've received about a dozen letters already of officers looking to seek promotion, so we should have a pretty good class of officers looking for promotion. And finally, I have a letter. It's not so much of a commendation, but it's a neat letter. I did look this gentleman up on Google as he asked me to in his letter, and it's a pretty neat story. This gentleman by the name of Lowell, who lives in Stockton, California, is 96 years old. And throughout his life, he collected postcards. And now that he's 96 and getting up there in age, he has decided to go through his postcard collection and send individuals the postcards of where the postcards come from. And yesterday I received a postcard from Lowell, again out of California, postcard of the old LaPorte County Jail. And really neat. And he goes on this story about how he just hoped it brightens everybody's day, and that he's been sending these cards out throughout the United States to kind of deplete his collection. Obviously he's getting up there in age and everything else, and the only thing that he had asked in for return was stamps, so he can continue his program of sending postcards. So I wrote a letter back to him yesterday and included quite a few stamps and sent it off yesterday to him for this. But I just thought that was really neat. He puts in his letter how he doesn't even know how this particular postcard ended up in California, but he wanted to share it and provide that back to the sheriff of LaPorte County and everything neat. So really neat story. I did Google him, and there's several news agencies in the California area that has done stories of this individual, and his last name, I'll spell it for you, is Joerg. Lowell, I think it's Joerg. Again, if you want to Google him and read his story and what he does, again, he's 96 years of age and is doing this. It's really neat, and he even puts that he probably only hears back from 1 or 2 out of the 10 that he sends off. So I typed up a letter. I sent it to him, and I provided a history about this jail, how long it was in operation, the sheriffs who had worked in there, and everything. So, yeah, pretty neat. I thought that was neat. Captain Allen thought it was neat. He's going to put together a story for our Facebook page in regard to this. And this postcard has a date of August 30th, 1916. on it, and it's in pristine condition. It's really neat. If you want to come down and see it after the meeting, neat story, and I wanted to share that with everyone this morning. So our next meeting will be Wednesday, March the 12th at 9 a.m. Attached will be the Warrant Division, Detective Bureau, and Jail Monthly Report. And as a reminder, we do have a pension board following today's meeting. And that's all I have for you today.
Thank you, Sheriff. Are there any comments from the floor?
Good morning.
Mr. Short, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
If I can, I'll just take a couple minutes of your time here with my end of year Toys for Tots certificate presentation and some numbers that we did. Locally, there's like 10 of us locally that do Toys for Tots every year for that 6-7 week campaign. Locally, we collected 15,699 toys, and we passed those out to 5,085 kids. And when we pass out our toys, we go through, like on our final collection day, we'll take everything to Salvation Army, and they have kids come in, and then we have our own list of kids that we deliver to throughout that week of Christmas and pass them out. We actually, LaPorte County Toys for Tots this year, we were actually Salvation Army's 2024 Volunteer of the Year. Our whole group was, so that's kind of cool. Statewide, we collected 108,578 toys, and we passed those out to 29,000 kids. And then nationally, we had a pretty good year, I think. We collected a little over 15 million toys, and we actually passed out almost 31 million toys. We get grants from like Walmart, Meijer, Ollie's. Locally, we get from Blue Chip. All kinds of organizations give us grants, and then we buy more toys and we pass those out to the kids. So from what we actually collect in our boxes to what we pass out, sometimes is twice as many just because of those grants. And we passed all that 30 million toys out to 12,797,000 kids.
Wow.
Of those kids, 519,000 of them were at-risk kids. So they're in foster care, shelters, that kind of stuff. So doing all of that, there was 48,000 of us volunteers. And like I said, locally, there's like 10 or 12 of us that pound the streets every Monday, clearing out our boxes and passing toys out. And locally, they always tally up, Marine Corps is all about numbers. They tally up how much money we actually generate for local economies. And that was total United States, a little over $228 million we generated for some local economy stores that, everybody goes out and buys toys from. So it's it was a pretty good year for us. So as always, the Marine Corps Reserve, Toys for Tots, we always have a certificate for everyone that participates with us. So if I can, Ron, Sheriff, and if I can too, every year John Boyd has, Mike Mullenhour, always donated the leftover toys from the Sheriff's Christmas show for us. And this year there was, I think, 100 toys and close to 200 books that we got from the department that went out to kids. We always collect books every year. Marine Corps Toys for Tots, we have a literacy program. So we deliver books to kids. So instead of playing on their phone, they've got an actual book to read. Salvation Army keeps some of them, and we pass those out to kids at Christmas time as well, trying to help kids develop some, so. Thank you. Thank you. Any questions?
Tim, it's always a pleasure to look forward to every year hearing the statistics that you present, and it's mind-boggling. So thank you for your efforts that you put in, and the other Marines, not only in our county, but throughout the country that participate in this. I know there's a lot of smiles on the faces that time of year for the efforts that you guys put into. So thank you.
We've had a campaign going where we've already delivered toys to like the North Carolina area that was devastated from the hurricane. We've got a campaign going forward now nationally to get toys out to the kids in California that have been displaced, devastated from all the wildfires and all around Los Angeles there. And hopefully next couple of weeks or so, we'll be able to start delivering toys out there to, maybe bring some smiles to some kids' faces that that are homeless now. So
Thank you.
let's try and help out whatever region is devastated. You know, if you remember a couple years ago, we delivered 7,000 toys to Estonia to all the Ukrainian kids that have been, relocated. And when the guys got there, they bought more toys, another 6,000 or 7,000 toys to pass out there. And so we're always, we're still Marines. We just have a different mission from what we did before. So thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments from the floor?
Good morning, Mike Mullenhour. I only had one thing, but I've got a couple things now after seeing the agenda. First off, with Tim Short, congratulations to him, and he's really done that. How many years, Tim?
I've had it about 12, yeah.
Many years, and he gets those boxes all around, and congratulations to him, and that's just a great thing for the community to participate in. One of the other things is I wanted to mention Scott Boswell. Talk about dedicated. I never thought he would last that long at that. It was in, I think, 2007 or 2008, my first or second year as sheriff. I sent 2 officers to that training, and one of them's retired since, but the other one, Scott, is still there and out in rain and snow doing that job and that foul weather, and he really deserves this award. And he's not only done the job, he's done it extremely well. And congratulations to him for that. And I think one other thing, or maybe two other things. One, of course, is on Mary Ann. I know with Mary Ann Midler, everybody knew her on the department as Mary Ann Masterson. That was a previous name, and she was a dispatcher. Jim remembers. That was when there was no 911. It was before 911. Dispatch was in the sheriff's department, as well as LaPorte City had their own dispatchers. Michigan City had theirs. And she was one of those in that in our department, in our dispatch center, and I would venture to say probably 10 years there. I'm just guessing. I'm going to try and find out. But so then she became a patrol person and the first female officer for this department, and that was an accomplishment right there. I know, I hate to admit it, but I always had some reservation on women in the patrol division, but they really, I don't know, I don't have any more reservations. They've really stepped up and they do a fine job, and Mary Ann was one of them that did do a fine job. She, nobody took any crap from her. She held her own ground. She was dedicated. She was professional. She was caring. And I got a lot of stories, but some of them I wouldn't want to share, but some I can. And my sympathy goes out to the family and for their loss. And then I think one other, and then she went to Purdue University Police Department after this. And I think she was there, we were just talking earlier, probably 10 years there, or maybe even better. So she had a long career of law enforcement. The last thing is a postcard. Is that one got a little car with it, like a? Yeah, okay, I've seen them. They're around, and I might even have one, I think. But yeah, they're pretty neat. The old, I think the building was built in 1907.
1907.
Yeah, and tore down in
77.
1977. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other comments? Any other comments? Hearing none. Comments from the board. John?
I have none.
Jim? Laura?
I just wanted to mention that Sheriff brought up the fact that people can apply for the Neil Thompson Scholarship, but for those listening, they can also donate to it on the website. Yep. So you can go to the Unity Foundation website and make a donation there as well.
Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. I think I mentioned it back in December that we received quite a few donations to the Neil Thompson Scholarship just from individuals who were donating end of the year type donations to it. So people do use that website to donate to the Neil Thompson Scholarship.
Yeah, it's nice. So you can go on there and find it, special interests that you have and make donations. Also, I just want to thank you, Tim, for your passion. It's very clear how passionate you are, how excited you are, and that's really exciting to see and a great example for whatever somebody's mission is. You're just a great example for yours.
Thank you. I just want to just thank once again the major for stepping up and working with me, like just at the drop of a hat when it hit me that we dropped the ball and hadn't gotten the dates for the promotional interviews and the testing and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we just hate to do that. But I called him up and said, you know, if you got some time, and he took the time that day. We got everything all set. He presented those to the sheriff. We got them all approved, and I received a couple text messages and one phone call from deputies thanking me for getting that out so that they can get their 2025 schedules for vacations done. And I know that was one of the purposes of doing that. And again, we, as you notice, we've gone for 3 different dates to hold the interviews. I know in the past we've set the dates. We've only given them 2 opportunities to do it. It's usually in the same week. And unfortunately, we've had people that have been on vacation to the Himalayas or wherever they're at, and couldn't make the interviews, and they had to pass on it. So, due to some suggestions that came to us last time we did interviews, we added a date the following week, which then gives that opportunity for everybody to make sure they get their vacations in with their families and loved ones, and still have an opportunity to go for promotions. So. Hopefully this will work out. It seemed to work pretty good 2 years ago, so we're gonna see if make sure it goes okay again this year. So that's all I have. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, to have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Have a motion to have a second.
Second.
Motion seconded. All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Meeting adjourned at 9:28 a.m. Thank you.